Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Gategully, a Dwarf Fortress Let's Play from Mike of Nearly Enough Dice. This is the 100th episode. Isn't that exciting? I kind of want to say it's like a double-length spectacular or something, but I honestly have no idea how long I'm going to be doing this. So, this is the 100th episode of Gategully, which is somewhat astonishing. And not only is it the 100th episode, but I've finally gotten a queen to turn up. And thus, we are now Mountain Home Gategully, which is rather swish. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is bring the royal apartments up to scratch. And so at the moment, the two issues, the opulent throne room needs to become a royal throne room, and the grand bedroom needs to become a royal bedroom, and those are throne room and bedroom. I was rather hoping that the snazzy statues would do it, actually, but apparently not. Possibly it's not counting the value of that statue that hasn't been placed there yet. So let's just chuck in a statue into the throne room. Let's try to remember now. So basically, without decoration, statue is 750. With a plus, it's 2,250, and I think I only have pluses in the minute, so we'll chuck in some of these statues. I really should have thought this out and maybe placed them in sensible, like I could have moved that this whatever that is. I can't remember. I think that's I think it's a weapon rack. And placed that somewhere else so that it would have looked. So then I have like a series of statues going into the background there. So we'll just leave that. Oop. And so this is nearly ready. So I just need to get these two rooms up to scratch. They're worth at least, I know they're grand and opulent respectively, which is the one down from royal, which means they're worth 2,500 already, and so I just need to bring them up to 10,000 and everything will be fine. So hopefully this statue going in will trigger that, and that'll I'm hoping that because these statues were all worth 3,000. Okay, so let's have a quick look. No. So I'm going to build another statue, and we'll give them a plus one. That's not enough. The other issue I have with my things here is that my Baron needs a decent office and does not currently have a decent office. He also wants rings made, and good luck with that, mate. So I've got some spare quarters down here, which I'm not using. So it's the King Consort needs one of those. So he's happy now. Apart from the mandate, but I can't do anything about that. I've got people making crafts. And finally, I've got my outpost liaison who needs a whole suite of things. Captain of the Guard has currently got all. Yeah, I've kind of messed things up a bit. Because this used to be on my mayor's bedroom, and now it's Oh, there's the captain of the guard. No one owns any of this. Okay, so I can assign this to our outpost liaison. I can assign this one to our outpost liaison. Assign this to our outpost liaison. And outpost liaison is deliriously happy. Well, I don't know about deliriously happy, but... yeah, so in fact has got... is he deliriously happy? No, he's not deliriously happy. No, he needs some more stuff. What does he need? 2 more chests, another cabinet and a record. Okay, I can build all those things. Right. Actually, I won't do it. Right, so build rack. So needs another weapon rack. How much is that one? 40. That's worth 50. It's worth 30. So you can get a triple stripe one. I think I've run out of all the very nice ones. So you can have a triple. Yeah, there you go. Oops, armor stand. Again, I think I've run out of the particularly nice ones. So there you go. I can't remember what else he wants. He and or she. Another cabinet, another 2 chests. Container, there we go. Don't know if I've got any particularly nice ones. I think I've got some masterwork bags and stuff. And they're worth quite a lot, actually. Just go back here. I've got ones that seem to be decorated. It's only worth 100. Presume. Oh, no, that's what I placed anyway. That's not what I meant to do. So build container. So those are worth 50. Yeah, bags are better. I mean, even this bag is like worth 100. So it's made from hemp fibre cloth and it's got some decoration on it. So there you go. Worth 180 if it's like a 3. Oh, there we go. 340 if it's a masterwork one. I think it's all cabinets after this. No. Don't know if I've got any good cabinets at all. Granite cabinets worth 40. These are worth how much? 50. So wood, I think I might go for that marble one that was worth like 80. Wagon wood. Made a lot of cabinets. Oh, here we go. It's worth 120. Maybe I want to go for that one. Made a lot of cabinets. Wow. I've got a lot of cabinets. I can only assume that I was planning at some point. I think I was like, I want to make masterwork cabinets. So keep making cabinets until you're good enough to make masterwork cabinets. And so you end up with a lot of cabinets. That marvel. No, I was actually better off with the ones way down there. So these ones down here. There we go. Plumwood. That's worth 120. And I can't remember what else this guy needs. Oh, it's chest. Need another chest. Okay. Build H. Well, we chuck that. We'll chuck that here. And let's see what we've got. Worth 70. 100. That might be my best offer. Yeah, I think that was that one. Next time I'm just going to make everything out of steel. Where hang on, where'd that go? I thought I found a good one. Yeah, so basically my plan such as it is if I can get... Oh yeah, okay, have that one. My plan such as it is to get my new nobles sorted. He's not happy with any of his rooms, is he? I don't know if I really want to do this because I've got actually other jobs for my engravers to do. And the claim I'm going to make is that when I have completed those requirements and the royals are happy with their apartments, then it's all good, and then I can retire Gategully, and I can feel justified in doing so because I'm really at the stage. I mean, my frame rate's very low, which makes it very difficult to do anything. Things involve a lot of waiting, and I think it's about time to retire and try another fortress with and set it up such that. What am I trying to say? Set it up so that my frame rate should not get that bad in the first place. Yeah, that's the plan. So that's going to, I'm going to have a small world with not a huge amount of history, and I'm going to have a dwarf cap of maybe about 100, and I may be vicious and say no children, or only a very small number of children. Stuff like that. So that everything is nice and small, and so that I end up not getting a huge really bad frame rate. Yes, I mean I could really there's there's a bunch of stuff I need to do about in that respect. So yeah, and it seemed I think that instead of just saying the frame rate is just awful and I can't take it anymore and let's just leave it. So I'm sitting here talking, just staring at my royal apartments and like nothing's happening. But it's quite nice, the idea that we can put that together, and then that will be a nice note to leave the fortress on. I think that'd be quite a neat thing to do. Instead of just saying I can't take any more, that's it, I quit. Yeah, because I would rather not kind of leave it like that. I quite like the idea of having a point that makes sense to say, you've done well, Gategully. Well done. Now you can retire, and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to generate a whole new world for it, as opposed to, just making a new world, a new fortress in the same world. Small worlds have the advantage that they don't generate. Well, what did I just do? They don't generate as much interaction between the various civilizations, and that's a thing because the world is being simulated in the background, and that's one of the many things that can lead to frame rate death. So let's calm that down, and let's have it as small as possible. Maybe even have a small embark, because instead of this is probably 4x4. I'm pretty sure it's the standard. You can have smaller embarks than that. It doesn't have to be quite that big, and so on and so on and so forth. I'm just quickly, while I'm babbling, I'm checking out my slabs and seeing if there are any memorials I need to do anything with. I can't place this memorial here. Died of thirst in 138. Died of thirst is almost always in this case. They died in infirmary because there was no one to treat them, so they just thirsted to death. That's very sad. Born 135. That's a very small child who died. That's very depressing. That's another reason I think I might not have very many children in my next fortress. It's just so depressing. Bad things happen to them. Yeah, so unfortunately what I would like to do is I would like to put that that memorial down somewhere, because there's going to be a ghost somewhere who's being irritating. There you are. Are you guys still wandering about? Good God. Yes. I'm sorry. Yeah. So you know, I want to lay that slab down so that the ghosts can be put to rest and all that. But I can't do that because it is down as somebody's task, and I have a sneaking suspicion it's down as somebody's task to move it from where it is just into the stockpile next door. But because it's somebody's task, I can't then actually place it, which is a bit of a shame. Merchants have had such trouble. I mean, serious difficulties. Just leaving. And just, you know. Where's that? That's down there. So, you know, the merchants, they've gone mad, and they've just dropped everything and stuff like that. They're just crazy people. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at this is my big pasture. Now what I was hoping is that I could, see here in the others thing, I've got a stray river otter and a stray raven who are both caged. But the problem is for them is that they've both been abandoned. Oh, hello, ghosty dwarf. Yeah, they've both been abandoned. So you know, you see all this stuff here, and yeah. So there's a wow. There's a lot of garbage here. So all this kind of grown, yeah, it says grown this, grown that, grown the other thing. That's all elf stuff that's been dropped. And so somewhere around here there's a raven cage. And that raven, I don't think I can get that raven out. Which is a bit of a pity. I can't do anything with that raven because they don't count as me. This elf has been stricken by melancholy. Poor elf. They haven't got around here. This one hasn't got around to taking off all their clothes, which the last one did. They ended up just dropping. There is a trail. Yeah, this trail of clothing just being dropped. They're overcome by melancholy. I don't understand why. When the elves came in, it was very strange. They kind of went up and actually wandered straight past the trade depot, wandered up there and then round again. And then they eventually, they placed their items here. And when they left, they just wandered about. Some of them they left, went up the ramp, then came back and went, wah, and then got lost and came back around in. And eventually, apparently, they just went mental from, I can't get out of this place. But the strange thing is, they went mental out here. When they were literally, there's one went berserk, but they were about there when they went berserk. But they were actually, the elf went melancholy, the water buffalo went berserk, but they were still able to get out the top of the screen and off the map. But this one doesn't seem to, so they're probably just going to sit there and starve to death, and there's nothing I can do about it, quite frankly, because they don't count as being one of my dwarves. quite frankly, given what's actually happened to my dwarves, I'm not sure they'd want to. And now, these things aren't being built as quickly as I would like because I have set things to be built here, and because last in, first out. What are you complaining about still? You're still complaining about your rooms. Because last in, first out, these things were placed. I asked for them to be placed after the stuff in the throne room. Therefore, the furniture moving will do those things first, and then only get to the royal apartments afterwards. So that's the last thing of these apartments being placed. So there you go. The liaison is still complaining. I can only hope that engraving is going to help, because that should, make a. They're not. I mean, my engravers aren't brilliant because my legendary engravers all died in the Great Krakatoa riots. So that's really all that's going to happen there. So they're not going to get the most brilliant places. I haven't been putting anything in the bedroom. Why have I not been putting things in the bedroom? I don't know. I've been putting. Why have I been putting stuff? Oh my god, I'm an idiot. Okay, I am a moron. I do not know what is wrong with me. Let's X that one. Build statue. I am such a pillock. It's because beds and my excuse is that beds and coffins are vaguely similar. That's not a very good excuse, is it? That sounds actually pretty stupid. So I want pluses. I think with pluses. So let's just make lots of statues. I suppose there's one good thing. Oh no, I seem to have run out of pluses. Those will have to do, I guess. Right, obviously the advantage is that because I'm having to rearrange everything, suddenly these should be the first things to get done. But then the other problem is the statues are all actually fairly far away, and they're very heavy, so they'll take a while for the dwarves to grab them. Yeah, I'm not sure. The question I do have is, when does the value go up? Because you notice that the mayor's got a van date. Oh, okay. Export of windows prohibited. Fine, I wasn't exporting windows anyway. Because you notice that as soon as you place you put the order in for a chest to be placed, for example, that immediately counts towards what they've got, right? And that's what they need. But I assume the value doesn't go up until someone's actually moved the item in question in. So that's an interesting thing. I do love that the dining room is just full of junk. The dining room is full of junk because I actually began to realise that given that I needed to put a lot of statues down in order to bring up the value, I was beginning to wonder, with 10 chests, I think, 10 chests and 5 cabinets and 5 armor racks and 5 weapon racks, it all adds up. 10 chests, 5 cabinets, 5 everything else, I think it was. 10 chests, 5. So that's 25 things. And I was kind of, am I going to be able to? Because each of these rooms is 5 by 5, so that's 25 is already, quite a lot. And I didn't make enough of these things out of steel, which is a terrible, terrible mistake. If you've got steel, make everything out of steel. Make all your cabinets out of steel. Make all your, chairs and tables out of steel, because it's just awesome. And this particular I was really good. It was really lucky with this particular fortress in that there is all this marble lying around, and I mean that's just brilliant. Lots of flux-stone, so I could just make as much steel as I wanted, pretty much. And so make everything out of steel. But these are not steel. These are literally just to make up the numbers. And I rather foolishly, way back when I was first starting to let's make royal apartments. I took it upon myself. Should I be worried about all this horrified stuff? I took it upon myself to let's make everything masterwork, right? Which seems like a brilliant idea. But I made everything masterwork out of stone and wood, which is pointless because if we just quickly can I grab, look at that? No, I think I need to go T. So this is granite, so it's masterwork and it's decorated, right? And it's worth 140. Whereas this steel cabinet, this is an ordinary steel cabinet, right? Ordinary cabinet, it's worth 300 just for being a steel cabinet. It's not a good steel cabinet, it's not a nice steel, it's not beautifully well made or anything. It's just made out of steel and it's worth 300 as opposed to, this absolutely beautiful, decorated slate coffee, which is worth 140. So this is masterwork. It's as good as a coffee as you're going to get until you start getting into artifacts and such like. Another cheaty thing I should have done, now that I think about it, is what I could theory still do. Now I think about it. But I'm not. I very often say, but I'm not going to do it, and then I immediately do it. Because this is an artifact table, right? It's not any old table. It's an artifact table. It's worth 45,000 dwarf bucks. And what I could have done is I could have made, instead of digging out separate 5x5 rooms for throne room and dining room and bedroom and tomb, made them all one big building. Yeah, and then you do get a value loss from. Oh, Queenie, what are you asking for? You do get a certain value loss for beds. Okay, fine. I don't have a carpenter anymore. I lost them. Let's make one. I'm probably making my life very difficult by doing it, putting it here. Because that's where the carpenter shops were, because they're full of junk, because that's all the junk that was there when the Cacafe riots caused these to be destroyed. Anyway, I forgot what on earth I was saying. Bed 3. Yeah, stupid things. So what I could have done down here is just made these into one big room and put the bed and the table and the chair and the coffin all in one place. Made overlapping rooms, but you do get a value loss when you do that. They don't quite count as full. You don't get all the benefit. But given that I've got an artifact table in the middle of it, I'm pretty sure no one would have cared. So the artifact table would have, because it's 45,000 dwarf bucks, and I only need each of the rooms to ultimately be 10 grand. So it would actually have been quite difficult for you all doing it in one single room penalty to actually be bad enough that you would still just be insta royal. Oh well, maybe next time. Let's have a quick look at. So the throne room is now royal. Hurrah! While I could, in theory, now turn that statue off, I have a sneaking suspicion that the dwarf who's doing it is already hauling the damn thing. So, well, construct a building. So I have a sneak. What have I done? I have a sneaking suspicion. Oh, for heaven's sake! Q. Cannot type. So yeah, people are already in the middle of it. So I have a sneaking suspicion that the dwarf who's got that statue is already on the way, and so I might as well just let them install the damn thing. As you can see, statues are quite heavy, and because all my forges were downstairs, there you go. Because that's where there are two ways of doing magma forges. Way number one is to bring the magma up, but that involves making lots and lots and lots of screw pumps and probably power and complicated and oh dear. The other option... Oh, stop following you. Oh, pantaloons. The Werebison Cardi Mist Ironu has come. A large bison twisted into humanoid form. Its craze for blood and flesh. Its eyes grow lime. Its charcoal hair is long and shaggy. Now you'll know why you fear the night. That's slightly irritating. Squad. B. M. Actually, no. I think. I am going to have to find out what that is. Do not deconstruct. These are notes. You can leave notes, and so you can send your squads to places apparently. And I've made a thing which I've apparently very loudly said, "Do not deconstruct." I think I know which one it is. Kill creature from list. Flesh ball? What on earth is a flesh ball? I'm probably going to regret this because my military is one bloke, but admittedly he's in steel armour and he's competent hammer dwarf and stuff, so... Enter, give order. This may or may not. This could... Well, yeah. Quite frankly, my military is the only one who could deal with it, so... The last Werebison wasn't that much of a problem. Oh, this one's moving like it. Look at that. The last Werebison just basically killed some of the livestock, turned back into a human, and then wandered off. Which wasn't terribly exciting, I have to admit. So it's going to be interesting to see what this one does. And I should tell everyone to go indoors, shouldn't I? Rawr! I wonder where my military person is. I should check to see if any of my other... Like these peasants, for example. This peasant here actually almost certainly is in fact... They're very often peasants. Yeah, competent spear dwarf, novice shield user, novice armor user. So they're actually... this peasant could have been a useful member of the military. Wonder if I should make them a member of the military. Yep. Woodcutters, for anyone who's interested, they're woodcutters because at one point I basically assigned everyone who had the woodcutting labour into a military squad on the grounds that they would have, you know, some proficiency with axes and such. But I don't know if that's actually very sensible. I don't know if that actually really helped. Oh, you're asleep. There you go. That's not going to cause problems. I think, let's have a look at you. You're competent axe dwarf. So, yeah, I think you're getting assigned to a squad. So they're going to pick up their equipment is what they're going to do. Resting, that generally implies that they're in the hospital and not well. Can I see what is wrong with their health? Ability to stand lost. No evaluated wounds. Diagnosis required. Crutch required. No idea what's wrong with them. Okay. Don't know if I even have a diagnoser. So I would set that person to be a another like axe dwarf or something, but I'm not going to. Actually, I think if I'm going to be following anybody, where's the there we go, Werebison. Let's follow the Werebison, see what the Werebison's up to. I should have put everybody inside really, but I think mostly people are going to run away at the right time. But then again, he's very quick. It's mostly going after... Oh, he's far too close for comfort. Now he's turned into a human. And... it is an interesting question. What is going to happen now? I honestly don't know if ideally, the military will either chase this individual off, but they may well just wander off on their own. That's what's happened. That's what happened the last few times. They just kind of became a human, and then they wandered off, and so it wasn't quite as exciting as it might have been. So I can only hope that this is indeed... That seems to be what's happening, and they're just wandering off now. Which is good. I'm happy with that. Okay. Wandered off. So now those two soldiers have stopped being... Because there isn't a current kill order, they're just going back to being as they were, and that is fine. I'm happy with that. Well, okay, so that was a bit of excitement. That didn't actually go anywhere, so hurrah. I have no objection to not having to deal with Werebisons. Because Werebisons are in fact a pain in the everything. And who wants to deal with those? Now, I'm going to see if I can tame a small animal. Really shouldn't be bothering with stuff like that. I should be concentrating purely on my royal apartments. Let's see, I want J, Q, building. Oh, King Consort, it's good to see that you're putting stuff together for your wife. So, let's see if this individual can actually bring everything up, all the way up. Yeah, I really should have come up with some method of bringing these big heavy statues from the depths of the earth all the way back up. I never really did come up with anything. Reading through, maybe, I mean, again, this may well be a, you know, next time kind of deal. Reading through the minecart, you know, the setup for minecarts and how to make minecarts work, really seemed very confusing. And so you know, I think the obvious thing would to be make some kind of minecart system that brings everything to the surface or much higher up. But that probably would have been as much work as building a huge pump stack and powering a huge pump stack, which would bring the magma up to the surface and thus have all the workshops up top. So I wouldn't. That would be the other way of not having this problem. And I came up. I mean, I think I came up with a reasonably elegant way of. I thought reasonably elegant way of getting stuff from the upper levels down to the lower levels. In that I've got this drop shaft here, and at about level -7, there's just a minecart that dumps stuff down here. That seemed to work reasonably well. That seemed to actually bring things from the top down to the bottom. So I was quite pleased with that. But to get things back, you don't have the same ability. You don't have the same ability to just kind of haul stuff directly up. I mean, you can imagine some kind of like winching operation could be made. You could I think justify coming up with that as a scheme. So you'd be able to drop. Basically you'd have a shaft like this. I was actually pointing with my finger, and I realised how useless that was. You'd have a shaft like this, and at the top there'd be a mechanism, and you'd have to supply a chain and a rope and a bucket or some big thing. Lots of mechanics involved, and you'd then, every so often you might have a minecart down the bottom, and somebody fills the minecart, and then every so often the minecart gets widged all the way back up. What I would have to do with the current system is make a big, long minecart track that goes up ramps, and I've looked in the wiki and stuff, and that just looks unbelievably complicated. Oh, let's stop following you. So that's 2 statues down, and another one just being placed. Another 2 just being placed. So we have one happy queen, apart from the mandate, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get the mandate. What are you still happy? You're still unhappy, right? Statues for everyone. Looks like statues is going to be the quickest way of doing these things. How much of this? 2,250. That should do. Just give each of these a statue, and that should be enough. Do I have any pluses left? No. You're just going to have to. Right. Okay. Wow, I thought I had just so many ridiculously large numbers of statues that it would just take forever to get rid of, to lose them all. But that's not what I wanted to do. So this is the bedroom. So the bedroom is still only decent. Yeah. So it looks like engraving would take too long. To make the difference that I'd want. But have these been suspended? They have not. Do I have? I thought I made carpenters down here. And actually there's a quick way of finding out, which is Shift R to get into the rooms menu. And because I've got Dwarf Hack, search, carb. So I do have them, but I think they might be the Carpenter's Workshops that are being built. Yes. So those, I do not in fact have a Carpenter's Workshop anyway. And these are going to be delayed because there's so much junk sitting there. I don't know if you need to move all the junk out of a workshop, or if you only need to. Because if I build a carpenter's, just very quickly, a pretend carpenter's, I'm not going to actually put this down. Only these dark green X's, those are the only ones that actually will end up being solid. So in theory, they only need to move stuff out of those, but admittedly those are just piled up with junk. However, let's face facts here. Unless I count him, I'm very close to really being done here. Pretty much all I need to worry about is this outpost liaison. I'm not quite sure what an outpost liaison is for. But once that guy's rooms are up to snuff, that's the royal entourage happy. And that's a good thing. And then I officially can retire everything. Let's go to Q construct. So these 3 steel statues are on their way, so I'm just going to follow this individual. So he's grabbing a statue. So this is the statue group. They're coming all the way down, grabbing statues, and on the way they go. Hopefully that's going to be enough. That's all I can really hope for. Because otherwise I'm going to have to make some more statues. I have to say, I've learned an awful lot with Gategully. It's been far and away my most successful fortress, indoor fortress. Probably helped by the fact that I have had no sieges whatsoever. And that's enabled me to get away with having a not very impressive military. And by not being impressive, I mean, I haven't bothered to come up with watchtowers, and I don't have any patrols set up. The outside of my fortress is really paltry. It's a wooden stockade that I chucked up very quickly because this is an aquifer level. I didn't have stone to begin with, so I just quickly, chopped down a whole bunch of trees and made an aquifer. I chopped down a bunch of trees and made a very quick stockade. And that's just, I haven't felt the need to upgrade that. I've not built any kind of moats. I've not done any kind of method of like pouring lava into the outside or anything like that. I had a very small necromancer incursion at one point, but that got dealt with fairly quickly. My fortress is in fact almost entirely self-sufficient, and in fact, if I really cared, I could make it self-sufficient because I've got the caverns and thus all the mushrooms I could possibly want in order for trees and that. So I wouldn't have even have had to go outside for trees, for charcoal. The Forgotten Beasts as well have been very nice and have pretty much entirely confined themselves to the caverns that I was able to wall off very easily, which is exceedingly nice of them. I mean, back when I had the big huge fortress of 215, of 215 souls, I could have maybe gone on a rampage, because I had 2 squads, and everyone had steel armor and steel weapons and stuff. Maybe I could have gone and smacked them in the face. And as it was, I did actually manage to kill a few Forgotten Beasts. It's only when I did something stupid and they actually attacked me. But I was able to deal with them reasonably easily. My biggest problems were a tantrum spiral caused by a were-lizard transforming in the middle of the fortress. Actually, at the very, very top of this staircase. This is the staircase that goes, the traditional Dwarf Fortress staircase that goes to the bottom of the world. And right at the top of that, a were-lizard kind of attacked a few people. Didn't kill very many, killed very few people before it got beaten up. But that caused a huge tantrum spiral that nearly destroyed the fortress. Which taught me that I should work on making the fortress a nicer place to be in very, very early on. I had another problem, which was I didn't have a clothing industry, and that's actually quite dangerous. In that your dwarves desperately want to have nice clean socks, and so they were discarding items, and then, I don't have anything covering me, oh no, I'm naked, I feel very unhappy. And that caused a lot of problems until I got on top of that. And I probably wouldn't have been able to get on top of that without the workflow DF hack plugin. That's probably the biggest thing that I've noticed on this particular run that just helped me so much, was the workflow plugin, because that helps with, it enables you to have a working clothing industry very, very easily without lots of micromanagement. And it also helps with steel, and it helps with soap, which are another 2 things that are otherwise very, very difficult, because you have this pipeline that you require in order to get anything done. Clothing is, you've got to get thread, and then you've got to make the thread into cloth, and then you've got to make cloth into the various items that are needed. And you have to keep track of how many of the items are available, so that if suddenly a whole bunch of people say, oh, my shirt is too ratty, I'm going to throw my shirt away and grab another shirt from stores, then you've got to be aware. You've got to, have a certain amount of shirts on tap, and as soon as it falls below a certain level, you need to make more, because it's not enough to have exactly the right number of shirts. You've got to have shirts available for when the dwarves take it into their head to get a new one. And workflow just handles all of that. You say, I want this much thread on hand at all times. I want this much cloth on hand at all times. I want this many shirts on hand at all times. And you can go, I want shirts and trousers and socks, and shoes and gloves, and hoods and stuff. I mean, essentially, my understanding is you need a body thing, so shirt, robes, dress. You need a lower thing, like trousers, stuff like that. And you need feet, so you need shoes and socks. And once you have those, everything's brilliant, lovely, wonderful. And workflow just handles those things. I want this many socks available at all times. And it makes that many socks available at all times. And if someone takes a sock out of stores and that brings it below the threshold, then someone makes a sock. And if, obviously, they take cloth in order to get that, to make those sock, that sock. So if that takes the cloth below the threshold, someone makes the cloth. And if that takes thread below the threshold, somebody makes that thread. And in the case of pigtail, that means processed plants. And, if you don't have enough thread, processed plants. I don't know if it does things like go shear a sheep if you've if you don't have a sheep. If you don't have enough yarn, but might do. Steel works the same way, because you've got to go from iron ore to iron, and then you need to have flux-stone, and that goes into pig iron, and then you need more flux-stone, I think. And charcoal, and that goes into steel. And trying to micromanage that on your own is kind of hard. But again, you just, set up one workflow. I just want this much pig iron, and this much iron ore, and this much steel, and it just makes those things happen. So when I suddenly decided, right, I want this many steel statues that are masterwork, right? I never actually got a masterwork steel statue. I could order that up in workflow, and I could be confident that that would all just happen. That oh, here we go. We're really far away. What am I talking about? We've done the royal apartments. This is the outpost of liaison we're trying to fix up here. But I could just order this many steel statues, and because I had set up a steel workflow, I could be confident, as long as I, fed the raw materials, as long as there was enough iron ore, and this map has tons of limonite on it, and I had enough flux-stone, and this map has lots of marble. In fact, that was the only thing I had to manually keep track of, was the marble. As long as I had enough marble and enough charcoal and enough iron ore, then the steel statues would just happen. And it would keep going until I had the number of masterwork steel statues that I wanted, with the side effect of producing lots of other steel statues. Steel statues was not a problem because they're quite useful for other things, like placing them in my dining room to make my dining room even better, so people get happy thoughts from seeing steel statues all over the place. Yeah, workflow just makes Dwarf Fortress a lot easier, especially in that high-end stuff, and it is really quite nice to be able to set up a pipeline and then largely forget it. I don't, I do not currently need to worry. Why are we going up? What? Oh, okay. Human caravan. I largely don't think I care about you human caravans. You're probably going to do something utterly stupid, because absolutely everyone has done stupid things. Now I've lost those people, so that's quite irritating. My nose is beginning to... Oh, I make that same mistake every time. It is astonishing. Oops, I want ZF. There we go. Yeah, so this is hopefully the final stages. Hopefully these guys are going to plonk their statues down, and that's largely going to be it. That's a ghost being irritating. I hope the ghost isn't sufficiently irritating that causes the statues to not get placed. That would be exceptionally irritating. I also hope that these statues are going to be enough to make everybody happy. Noble... Whoops. I wanted N, not M. So the throne room's okay. So once that statue got down, the throne room became good. Okay, so now the dining room's okay. And so once this one goes in, that should be that. That is... There we go. There's a bunch of things I don't have, but I've got my king, in this case a queen, who I'm afraid is not going to get her beds. Oh, he got one of his rings. That's nice. So I've got my king. I've got my king consort, who's a baron. I've got a mayor, outpost liaison, captain of the guard. I've got everything I need. I'm now the mountain home. Yeah. Wow. And that's actually fairly long. Oh goodness me, someone's gone mad. Oh, possessed. That's annoying. Well, let's follow this. Let's follow the because it'll be funny. possessed by unknown forces. The problem with them being possessed is this individual wouldn't even get an interesting skill from it. Crafts Dwarfs Workshop. Okay, you get on to that. So I am going to see if I can build that last slab. Possibly lay that goes to rest. But fundamentally, that there is, I would say, that's Gategully. Gategully. Oh dear, I feel almost a bit sad. Yeah, 100 episodes. Gategully is now the mountain home. We've gone from 215 dwarves. Well, we've gone from 7 dwarves ultimately, to all the way up to 215, and then down to like, I think it was less. I think it was like 6. 1 adult and some children. It went all the way down there, and you know, I think it's a fairly successful fortress. Fairly successful, very peaceful fortress. So that's a thing. I didn't deliberately choose to make a fortress that was so peaceful. It just kind of ended up that way. I mean, I didn't deliberately look for a place that wouldn't have any violence. But that's that. I think I'm going to have to leave it there. Yeah. So retire the fortress for the time being. All I can say is it'll be deleted. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to save it, and then I'm going to archive the save, and then I'm going to retire it. So I would like to thank everybody who's been watching Gategully. If you've been here from the beginning, what's wrong with you? I mean, thank you very, very much. I'm going to have to, and yeah, I mean, I hope you've really, really enjoyed it. I am going to go on to do something else, another Let's Play. Whether it's going to be a Dwarf Fortress Let's Play, I don't know. There are other options. I was going to do a slightly different Let's Play. I was going to maybe do something like Saints Row the 4th, but I ended up discovering that the files were too big and I couldn't cope. But I hope you've enjoyed it. There will be more Let's Play stuff. I might start like more or less immediately because I now don't have anything to do with my life, so I might start something up again tomorrow. And so do feel free to subscribe if you've been enjoying this, because I will be doing more pretty much almost immediately. And as always, you can find us at www.nearlyenoughdice.com for your role-playing game-based podcast and blog needs. Should you have any of those, do come over and join us there. And until I see you again, have yourselves an extremely dwarfy day.